Welcome back to JJ's Football Corner. So tonight I thought I'd do something a little bit interesting, a little bit different. I'm going to compare the Liverpool 1920 Premier League winning team to Arsenal's 25-26 Premier League winning team. Now, this is my opinion. Obviously, other people will have different opinions. So let me know in the comment section below which ones you agree with, which ones you disagree with. So let's get right into it. So, first up, we have the goalkeeper, right? So it's Alison Becker versus David Raya. So listen, both great keepers. I think Raya has been excellent for Arsenal over the past couple of seasons, but this is obvious, guys. Alison Becker is the epitome of the modern day keeper. He can pass the ball well, great shot stopper. Just all around, I just think he's a better goalkeeper than David Raya. Listen, again, this is not me saying that David Raya is horrible. Raya is a great keeper, but Becker is ahead of him here. So that's Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Next up, we have right back Trent Alexander Arnold versus Julian Timber. Now, listen, we all know about Trent's deficiencies at defending, right? And let me just say this actually. He's not that bad a defender as people make it out. Like, he's actually decent. It's just that he makes high profile errors, often leading to disastrous consequences for Liverpool, right? Especially if you think back to the Champions League game in which Vinicius basically skinned him there. Julian Timber in his own right is one of the best right backs currently in the world. Very elite defender there for Arsenal. But I think overall, given the season that they had, I think Trent offers a little bit more than Julian Timber. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trent on this. I think it's closer than people think. And this is coming from me, a Liverpool fan. I think Trent just edges it. But Julian Timber is a great right back. Maybe in a couple of years he might surpass Trent. Who knows? But I think Trent for now just edges it. So that's Liverpool 2, Arsenal 0. Next up, we have Joe Gomez versus Gabriel. Now, in that season that we won, actually Matip was the main starter, but then he got injured. Joe Gomez came in and had a absolutely stellar season that year. But Joe Gomez is a guy who, the officer the best ability is availability, and he's not always available, unfortunately. So for me, even with that, even if he was available, I think Gabriel epitomizes the modern day center back. He can pass the ball well. He's a maverick in defense. He gets forward. He scores goals. Yeah, Gabriel for me is the better center back here. By a mile, by a country mile actually. So yeah, I'm gonna go Gabriel here. So Arsenal, they get one here. So 2-1. Next up, we have Virgil van Dijk versus William Saliba. Virgil van Dijk has this one, but let me just say this: William Saliba is a great defender. He's young. He's excellent on the ball. I do think that Gabriel does cover up some of his deficiencies. Um, but will Saliba eventually eclipse Van Dijk? It's hard to say. Who knows? But I just know that Saliba is a great, great defender, and you know, it's unfortunate that Liverpool didn't get Saliba when he wasn't worth what he's worth now. Imagine a Virgil Van Dijk Saliba combo. But I think Van Dijk has this over Saliba. Again, Saliba is a great centre back, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Van Dijk here. So Liverpool 3, Arsenal 1. This is another one that's gonna go Liverpool. Andy Roberts versus Calafiori. You could even replace Calafiori with Miles Lewis Kelly. Really doesn't matter. Andy Roberts is one of the best left backs in the history of the Premier League. Only cost Liverpool 8 million from Hull. What a signing he's turned out to be. He's been a maverick for Liverpool over the years. I think he has the most assists at left back. Correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna go Andy Robertson. No, look, Calafiori is still young. He still has a whole career ahead of him there. He could still, be a Premier League great. But Andy Robertson is a Premier League great. So, I'm going to go with Andy Robertson here. Next up, we have central defensive mid, Fabinho versus Zubimendi. Now, two different profiles of players. Zubimendi is more of a controller of the ball, similar to what Busquets would do. I'm not saying he's on the level of Busquets. Fabinho is more of a, break up play kind of guy. He still got forward at times and, scored a couple worldies. Um, but come on, guys, come on. It's Fabinho. There was a point in time when Fabinho was operating as maybe the top two or top three central defensive midfielders in the world for a 2 to 3 year period. Zubimendi has never reached that level. Now, Zubimendi is a good player, but he has never reached a level where you're like, oh my God, Zubimendi. But Fabinho was that guy for at least 2 or 3 seasons, especially the season that we won. So yeah, I'm gonna go Fabinho here. I'm gonna go Fabinho here. Next up, we have Rice Wijnaldum. Now, Declan Rice wins this, by the way. But let me just point this out. Wijnaldum is one of the most underrated midfielders ever. And I'm one of those guys who will defend Wijnaldum. I have defended Wijnaldum several times. I think people underestimate just how good Wijnaldum was on the ball. He didn't lose it. He didn't lose the ball. He was one of the best recyclers of the ball. He was one of the best progressive passes of the ball. It's really unfortunate how I think Wijnaldum came in a time when a lot of people didn't really appreciate what he offered Liverpool. I think he's really underrated. But even with that, Declan Rice is world class. I know, Souness, for example, who, by the way, was world class in his day, disagrees. And again, he's, uh, who am I to disagree with him? But at the end of the day, this is my opinion. I do believe that among the crop of midfielders currently, Declan Rice is world class. So, it would be remiss of me to not have Declan Rice ahead of Wijnaldum. To me, like I said, Declan Rice is one of the best. Yeah, I'm going to go Declan Rice here. Next up, we have Henderson and Odegaard. Now, this is going to be a very controversial opinion here. I'm going to go Henderson. No. I do believe Martin Odegaard is a better player on his day than Henderson, right? I do believe that. But for their contributions to that season, you have to understand that Henderson was the glue that held everything together in that midfield. Like, he was, the consummate professional. He was everywhere, pressing, harassing, passing. Like, he was just everywhere, right? He was like an English Kante that season. He was like a madman determined to win the league that season. And look, Odegaard's a better player, right? But I don't know, man. I'm gonna go with Henderson here. Like, you may disagree, but I just think you can take Odegaard out of Arsenal's team and they still win the league. But if you take Henderson out of that midfield, I think it somewhat falls apart. Not falls apart completely, but it's not that solid Premier League winning unit it would be without Henderson. So that's why I have him over Odegaard. You might disagree, let me know in the comment section. Next up, we have the wingers. Sadio Mane versus Trossard. This is another easy one. Sadio Mane, one of the best wingers to ever play in the Premier League. A bit underappreciated, I would say, by some fans, especially for whatever reason. There's this split between Mane and Salah, which, is silly to me because both of them are Premier League legends, Liverpool legends. But yeah, Sadio Mane is miles ahead of Leandro Trossard. Now, Trossard had a great season for Arsenal. But come on, guys. Come on. It's Sadio Mane all day long. One of the best to ever lace his boots at Liverpool. One of the best to ever play in the Premier League. Sadio Mane with ease. Right wing, this is another one with ease. Mohamed Salah speaks for itself versus Bukayo Saka. The Egyptian Prince versus Starboy. Listen, Saka is a great player. I like Saka. I like his attitude. I think he's great. I think he'll go down as an Arsenal legend. But Salah is a Premier League legend, man. Like, easily a Premier League legend. The goals, the assists for 9 seasons, he was, among the best in the world. Salah, man. Salah, there aren't enough adjectives, there aren't enough superlatives to really crown Salah. Like, he is one of Premier League's best ever. Right? And Saka is great, but I don't know if Saka will ever be one of the best ever. You understand what I mean? Like, Salah is just different, and this is a no-brainer. Salah over Saka any day of the week. I would even throw this out here that Salah over Hazard, but that's a different argument altogether. And then finally we have striker, our centre forward Roberto Firmino versus Victor Gyökeres. Now two different profile of players, but come on guys, it's Firmino. It's Firmino. It's hard to really compare because Gyökeres only had the one season. But Firmino, man, Firmino defined false nine for a while. It was the best false nine in the world for 2 or 3 seasons. Like, he was the glue again in that front three, man. He was, so unselfish, set up so many goals. He was also a prolific goal scorer. People forget that there was a season he had 27 goals. Firmino, man. And look, Gyökeres is a people accuse him of being a flat trap bully, but Gyökeres is a great player. Gyökeres is a great player as well. But come on, man. It's Firmino. It's Firmino. Like, no doubt about it. It's Firmino. So that's it for me, guys. This is gonna be what, Liverpool 9, I think, to Arsenal's 2. I think somewhere around there. Look, Arsenal's team was great, but there's no comparison to the Liverpool team that won 1920. You understand me? Because that team previously won the Champions League the year before. There's just no comparison. I think that was a better team. Now Arsenal has a much better team than the current Liverpool. You've watched my videos. I've complained about this current Liverpool team in terms of the transfers that we need. But comparing to those two Premier League teams, come on. But let me know if you guys like this series. There are other, teams I could compare them to. Perhaps I could compare the Arsenal team to the Centurions. Will Arsenal get more players in if I compare them to the Centurions? Or maybe I compare it to the treble winning Manchester United team, or to the Arsenal Invincibles team. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know if there were any players that you would have chosen differently. Let me know, man. Leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, guys. Subscribe. Please subscribe. Let's get to 50 subscribers by the end of August. I'm at 35 now, 15 to go. Have a good night. Later.